Welcome back friends to my tutorial on Kotlin. So today we are going to talk about creating variables in Kotlin. So let's get started. So let's first create the main function. So func main parenthesis on braces. So in Kotlin there are two types of variables. So one type of variable is created by using the keyword called val and the name of the variable. So let's say product and colon and the data type of the variable, so let's say string, equal to the value of the variable, let's say a car. And the other type of variable is created using the keyword called var, then the keyword name or the variable name, so I can say price colon and the data type, so int equal to the value, so let's say 14,000. So the difference between these two variables is that the variables created using val are immutable or they cannot be reassigned, and the variables which are created by var can be reassigned in our program. So let's first print these two variables. So let's print the value of these two variables. So we use println bracket and the name of the variable, so product, to print the value of the product, and to print the value of the price we use print price. So let me run the code, and as you can see I get the values car and 14,000. So now the question is, what's the difference between creating variables using val and creating variables using var? So the variables which are created using the val keyword are immutable, that is they cannot be reassigned later on the program, those have a fixed value. But the variables which are created using the var keyword can be changed in our program later on or can be reassigned. So let me show you by trying to assign a value to the product. So let's say car. As you can see, the red underline in the IDE giving me a pop-up called val cannot be reassigned. So it means that this shows an error. So whenever I try to reassign a variable which is declared using val, I will get a pop-up. So if I change the val to var keyword, my error is gone. So val is used whenever I want to create a variable that does not change in my program, and var is used in places where I can change the value of the I want to change the value of the variable. So let me say price equal to 31,000. So let me print this before reassigning my value. Okay, so let me run this so that you can know the difference. So as you can see here, at first the value of price is 14,000, and then after reassigning the value of price changes. So the difference between val and var is that in val the variable is immutable, that it cannot be reassigned, and in var it can be reassigned throughout our program. So there are other things to note in Kotlin when we talk about variables. That is, by default Kotlin variables are non-null type variables. So what do you mean by non-null type variable is that by default the variables cannot have the null value. So let me explain it. So let's clear all this and create a variable. So say var name string equal to, and I am assigning the value null to it. So as you can see, an error pops up saying that null cannot be a value of a non-null type string. So what it means that by default Kotlin variables cannot have the value null assigned to the variable. So what can we do to make a variable null? We can change a variable null or a null type variable by adding a question mark after the data type. So by doing this, our variable becomes null, or it can have any variable, it can have any values. So by mentioning or by putting this question mark after the data type, it means that our variable can either be null or it can have some value. So let me say, if I print the value of this variable, I will receive an output saying it is null. Oh yeah, sorry. As now it is having value, let me change it to null, and when I run it, I get an output saying the value is null. So remember, by default all the variables are non-null type variable, and if you want my variable to be null, I have to put question mark after the data type. By doing this, I can also reassign my variable later on, like I can say diary, and I can print this to show the change it takes place in my program. So let me run this. As you can see, oh, one second, and ln, so you can see it in two different lines. So as you can see, at first the name contains a null type value, and after I'm reassigning it possesses an actual value. So to make a variable null type, we just put an question mark after this, after the data type of the variable. Knowing all this, actually there is an easier way to create variables in Kotlin. So let me show you by clearing this. We can create variables by typing the keyword of val or var that decides the variable type, and then the name of the variable, let's say day, and equal to the value. So let's say it's Monday, and this still works. So the reason this works is because Kotlin is just like Python. It can automatically assign the type of the data type of the value to its variable. So we can totally avoid this and still the code would work. But there are some reasons why we have to follow the other method also. So let me explain that. So before that, I can show you. I can either assign the values of any data type, like I can say val equal to val number equal to 15, and I can print all of this, and while printing you can use quotation marks and the dollar symbol and type the name of the variable, so name, and dollar symbol, the name of the variable, and the dollar symbol, again the name of the variable. So this is the format of printing the values of the variable inside a quotation mark in a print statement. So let me run this and show you the result. As you can see, Zaire and Monday and 15. So just note, putting a dollar symbol in front of a variable name inside a quotation mark prints the value from the quotation mark directly. Okay, so let me say I'm creating variable and I want this variable to be a null variable. So let's say name it as time. So I want time to be null variable. So the problem occurs here when I try to change the variable of time to some value, let's say 14. So now as you can see, error comes telling that the integer literal does not convert to expect type nothing. So it means that once I assign time equal to null, the variable time becomes an null type variable, but I can't reassign it to some other type, like I can't reassign to some other data type. So to do so, what I have to do is I have to go and create a data type or initialize a data type and convert it into a nullable data type. By doing so, I can reassign the values of the data type, let's say 15, and I can print it and show you that the null value changes. So let's say I print the value here, and also let me print the value after, like before reassigning it. So print ln time. So when I run this, you can see that at first the time is null and after it becomes 15. So we have to use this we have to use this old method or this long method every time we want a variable to be null. At the same time, we can reassign it to some other values. So this is all about variables. Thanks for watching this, friends. Please comment any suggestions below and press the like and press the subscribe button to know more updates, and please share and support my video. See you later.